What is up, guys? Midnight Sun 518 here, back with another upgrade video for my 2017 Tacoma TRD Pro. And yeah, today we're going to be installing the body armor 4x4 steel. They call it a hybrid. I don't know. It's a steel front bumper though. What I really like about this one is that even though you do have to do a little bit of body cutting, you don't have to do the entirety of removing all of the side of the front end of your car, which is great when it comes to off-roading, in order to have, you know, maybe a little bit better approach angle because you have more height on the front end of the car. You can also fit bigger tires with that kind of thing. But I feel like, in my opinion, it takes away the look of the car. Not to say it doesn't look bad, but I don't know. I like the look of this one a lot better. So I did end up getting the one that has a 30-inch light bar cutout, as well as a space to mount the winch, which I don't have right now. But you know, eventually that will be something that I'll add to the truck. But for now, I wanted to get rid of that plastic bumper and the duct tape that I had holding it in place. So here we go. Looks great. I like it a lot. I'm really excited to give it a little bit more wear and tear out there on the trail. But yeah, it also gives me another GoPro mount, so we can get some of those sick front end videos, know what I'm saying? But I guess without further ado, let's hop into the video. Bro! Haha! A little bit. It's finally here. Oh my god, I'm so excited. So this bumper is from Body Armor 4x4. They got their name stamped there in metal, which is pretty sick. And it's got the cutout for a 30-inch light bar, as well as down here it has, I'll show you from the other side, the holes and the mount right there for a winch. Right out the box, it looks pretty damn good. There's a few little scratches on the inside, but I mean, that really doesn't matter at all. Structurally, it doesn't affect it, and I don't care because you're not going to see that. So, still got a little bit of the powder coat dust on it, which is good. But yeah, it comes powder coated straight out the box there, and then you got your 1-inch steel hooks there for your whatchamacallit, shackles. Also in the box, you got the instructions. You got the other plate for the winch. You got a wiring harness. I am not entirely sure what this is for just yet, but I will be figuring that out. And in fact, I think it's just the casing. And then random nuts and bolts, and then your couple extra brackets. So let's get into it. Last look that we're gonna have at her beautiful face, with her messed up plastic bumper and red duct tape, and about to get rid of that today. All right, so first step is to remove the bottom skid plate, which is actually good for me because I got to get under there and clean it. But I got my impact driver with my adapter and a 17mm socket, and then we got 1, 2, 3, and 4 bolts, and then it should just drop. So I was wrong. There is actually 2 more bolts back here, and it's using a 12mm socket. So I'll just swap this bad boy out. I'm gonna take them off first, and then remove the other ones, gently lowering the skid plate to the ground. These are actually capture bolts, so they're not going to completely come undone, which is good for me. All 4 of them are. And that keeps the bolts in place, which is super convenient. So yeah. So while I'm already on my back, we got 2 bolts down here. I don't know if you can see that very well. But yeah, we got 2 bolts down here, and I'm going to use a 10mm socket to pull these guys off. And what they're doing is holding the bumper on from the bottom. I have these two 10mm bolts right here, one on either side, that we have to remove, that are holding the plastic face or front bumper on. Next we got these two 10mm bolts that are holding the front grille on, because we're going to end up taking this whole thing off. And then we also have these two body clips that we can just use a flathead screwdriver. They make a special tool for it, but I don't have anything like that. So you can pop it up with a flathead and call it a day. All right, now since I have my Raptor lights installed, disregard the really crappy craftsmanship with my wire bundling here. But I'm gonna end up unplugging them, but I'm also gonna have to cut the zip tie in order to be able to completely remove the front grille. All right, so I got parents tape, and I'm going to start by first running it right along this top edge right here, because we're going to be leaving that relatively clear. Sorry about the truck noise. Oops. All right. But yeah, we're going to be leaving this relatively clear, so I'm lining up the paint right along that edge there. Tape. And we're going to be removing all of this little thin plastic right here. So we covered this entire edge with tape, just to help protect the plastic while we're cutting around it. And we'll be cutting when it's not attached. So we're going to be taking the entire front end off, doing our trim, doing a little bit of work up inside there, and then putting the front end back on. But the next step is actually we're going to be marking from center 2 centimeters up on the tape. So I'm going to grab my tape measure and give it a measure. Show you what I've done. So I traced the body line going up to here, and then that 2 centimeters. I think I might be a little off over here. I'm going to remeasure that. But I connected from this body line right here to, if you can kind of imagine a body line right here where it curves, like right around the center of the curve, straight line, and then 2 centimeters all the way across to the other side, and then you just repeat. And then now that that's done, we're going to take the front end off. Alrighty, so to take the front end off, a couple things we have to do, and mine's already partially done, sort of. So we have to remove this little clip right here. This is going to make it hard. And then there's also a 10mm bolt right here we got to take off. And then from there, we can pop our fender off, because I think there's a couple of clips on the other side of the plastic of the body that we got to get to. Alright, so you got 1, 2, and 3 fender clips that connect onto the plastic of the front bumper, or whatever you call that. So, yep, I'd take those out. We'll do that both sides. Alrighty, so I already disconnected the fog lights here, and then you had this little plastic clamp that was plugged in right here that you have to take off. Now I'm going to take off all of these individual pop clips or body clips, whatever you want to call them, and then I think I should be able to take the bumper off from there. Alright, so just so that you guys don't freak yourselves out when you're doing this at home, but this little lip right here on the edge of the plastic is tucked up inside of this like supporting plastic here. So it feels really hard to get off, but in order to take this off, literally reach your hand up underneath there and just pull this way, and you'll make a loud pop and it'll come right off. Completely removed. There she is. So yeah, I'm going to set this off to the side. We'll cut that later. Next, we're going to be removing the little crash guard here, or whatever you want to call it, which you can see I already used that against a tree. And then we'll be taking off this metal plate right here. I don't think we're going to be using this anymore. I'm pretty sure this just gets replaced with the actual bumper. And then we're actually going to have to relocate the cooling coils for the AC unit. And so that's what those extra brackets were in the system for. We're going to be removing these bolts right there either side, and then installing them onto the new brackets so that this will slide closer to the radiator itself. So yeah, let's do it. Alrighty, so now we can take off this guy, and we got 1, 2, 3 bolts here, and then 3 on that side. So let's do it. Alright, the next step is removing the mounting brackets for the crash bar, which once again, 1, 2, 3 bolts. and I'm using a 14mm extension so that it'll fit over top of them, and it's the same both sides. Alright, so next we're going to be removing this bolt and this bolt holding the radiator in place so that we can hook up those new brackets. So actually, I couldn't get the impact in there, but I did manage to break torque on it by hand, so now I'm stuck doing this. Alrighty, so next I actually have to get in here and remove that guy right there, because this bolt has to go. It's holding the radiator in place. So we got the radiator off of these two bolts right here, but if you can look all the way in there, those bars aren't going to move at all because of that one. So I'm going to take that one off so that we can slide this radiator back. And just like that, she moves cleanly. Alrighty, so the kit did come with our relocators for the cooler here, cooling coils. So what I'm going to do, and you'll see in a second, but I'm actually going to put this guy on both sides. One-handed is hard. And then I'm going to put on the washer and the lock nut, and then just get it screwed down mostly, not tight, but mostly, and then we can work on installing this back over here. Alright, so now that I got both of those on there, I put the factory screws or bolts back in, and unfortunately we're going to have to tighten these down with a wrench. So I'm going to tighten these guys down completely before we put it into place because it'll be blocked, and then we're going to wrench it up. Alrighty, well, that was a slow and mildly horrible process. But we got it. This leaf has been bothering me. Yeah, so now that's installed. We're going to keep on going. Okay, so now it's time to do the thing that we can't come back from, which is cut the bumper. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera. I'm just going to trim it up and then get it installed back on the truck real quick so that we can do a test fit. I'm going to trim a little bit shallower, right? A little bit closer here than that black line, just so that we can test fit the bumper, see how we like it, and then we have to cut a little bit more off than I will later after I get it back installed in the truck. So, all right, see you in a few. All right, so there it is, all cut off and removed. No going back from this. I already did a test fit. I did a second cut just to verify that it's going to be good to go. And so pretty much the next step is we got this, which I thought was a wiring harness. It's not. It's gasket material. So that is going to wrap around the edge here to kind of protect the plastic a little bit more. And then we put the front bumper on. So first, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that the front end is all installed. So I'm going to install these 4 body clips right here. This one right here, I'm going to plug in the fog lights and attach the harness to there again. That clip there as well. And then remember up in here, we had the body clip and the screw. So I'm going to get all that put together. And then I'll be back and you can watch me put this other crap on. All right. So I removed the side panels that went right here just for convenience so that we can get to these 3 bolt holes going in here on each side. So I'm going to get them bolted down. Alrighty, so before I tighten it down, I'm just going to show you. So we had the factory bolts for the crash bar holder, or crash bar mount right there, and then the kit includes this like 4-inch bolt, and then it goes through the frame itself and comes out on the bottom. I'll show you. Sorry about the car noise there. So here's that bolt I was pointing at, and it goes through the frame itself and it comes out right here on this side. So yeah, I'm gonna get these tightened down. All right, now that she's all installed and bolted down, Let me get the front grill back on. Okay, there it is, fully installed. The grill back on, looking absolutely gorgeous. I'm gonna get that TRD skid plate thrown back underneath, and then she's good to go. There you have it, guys. The body armor 4x4 Hiline full steel front bumper for the 3rd gen Toyota Tacoma. I absolutely love this thing. It looks great. It's on there rock solid, and I'm really looking forward to be able to get in the light bar as well as a winch eventually, but those will come at some point. They're pretty expensive. Anyways, if you guys have enjoyed, you know the deal. Like, please subscribe. I don't know. I got a bunch of stuff going on my channel. Try to have some fun with it, you know. If you guys found this video at all informative or helpful, then please do hook me up and drop a like. But anyways, with that, and that's on out.